Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome to this epic podcast. This is a place where you are encouraged and you have absolute freaking permission to unapologetically go after all of your dreams, all of your visions, all of your things on your vision board, like everything that your heart desires. I'm your host, Angharad, the High Vibe Babe, and I believe that we're all in this life to expand and experience our wildest dreams. If one of us can have it, then we all can. So that is the aim of this podcast. Each week I'll either be going solo or have guests with the aim to inspire, uplift you and give you the tools for you to live your most epic AF life and business possible. You can find me on Instagram with the handle @HighVibeBabe. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to the High Vibe Babe podcast. Today I have a very fucking special guest. We already have dropped the F word 3 words in. This is my dear friend and past client, Patsy. She is a soul practitioner providing guidance, coaching and counseling for the soul. She empowers people to unlock their superpowers and integrate these into their soul-led life they want. Welcome, Patsy.
Welcome, yes, thank you.
Okay, firstly, can you please share your Instagram handle so people can stalk you and put the voice to the face?
So my Instagram handle is @thevoyagingsoul.
Yay! Okay, and the link is down below in the bio. Could you please tell us about yourself, babe, all the things and what you do?
Okay, so I'm at The Voyaging Soul, but I just really wanted to share that I'm really new to openly, and I really want to share this, I'm really new to openly sharing my spiritual self, my spiritual gifts and my soul work. So that's something that's really new for me that actually happened when we were doing our coaching together.
Mm-hmm.
So it is something that I have practiced privately behind doors for many years. In my human, I have a social work background and have worked in the mental health and addiction field for 15, 16 years. And the most significant thing that I've wanted to share as well is in the work that we did together with human design, I was able to bring what I felt like were 2 parts of myself together. So yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I really love you have this really deep layer of like integrity and integration and protection of and code of conduct, right, over what you do. You have very strong, I would almost call like spiritual ethics around what you do. And do you want to share with us a little bit like why that's so important to you and what that kind of means for you as well?
So a lot of the work that I do is to really empower people to look within and identify their own superpowers or gifts. And some of the most amazing superpowers that we have or gifts that we have are our experiences that we've had, whether they be in this life or in previous lives. For me, I'm very, very passionate about people practicing in a way in which that keeps them safe and keeps the people that they're engaging with safe. So everything that I do is like the core of it is around that safety and practice. It's around utilizing your own, like utilizing your own gifts, but then from that developing almost like your own policies and procedures, your own ethics, and really using your values to be able to drive what it is that you're doing.
I love that, because without holding ourselves accountable, firstly, we're not holding ourselves accountable, but secondly, I think it's really good for us to have those things, because otherwise we feel, you know how we can get imposter or feel like we're a flake or feel like we're not good enough or feel like, because we don't have any internal like measurement systems for ourselves, not comparing to anyone else. Like everyone else has their own journey, but just within ourselves, we have to have some confidence around like what it is that we do and why that we do it and how much integrity we have within our work.
The most important thing around accountability and your integrity and what it is that you do and how it is that you share, that is where trust is built. It gives your human, developing your own, using your values, what's important to you, and then extending that by developing your own principles, what guides you and what you do. That's what principles are about. it's like providing a framework or your own modality for your human to be able to ease into what it is that you're doing and flow into what it is that you're doing.
That's beautiful.
Many people, and like many people that I work with, that I've coached, that I've mentored, just friends, that when we talk, we all have those moments when we are engaging with people, goals, whatever it is outside of ourselves. We all have those moments where we're like, fuck, I was really on in that engagement. I had my back 100%. And having your own modality, creating your own modality and framework, and having accountability and understandings of reciprocation and all of those things built into it gives your human what your human wants: the structure, the routine, the policies and procedures of where it's going to navigate. Everything, for me, it's spirituality is and our soul work and our soul purpose is making sense of the things that we can't see. So the work, what it is, how it is that I work is to support people for their human to be more or feel more secure in the way in which that your soul is navigating what's in front of you, the things that you can't see.
Yeah, I love that. And that's kind of also ties in, like, it's not the same thing, but it's like a parallel, right, with masculine and feminine energy. And spirituality is a very feminine energy. And so when we don't have the masculine containers, and this is a lot of work that we did together, right? And what I do with my clients is that, our human needs to stick to something. It needs to have a framework. It needs to have that masculine structure, or that human design, for instance, is like a masculine structure for our soul to ultimately, expand, and for our intuition to flourish, and for us to be able to make decisions based on, our soul and intuition, instead of like our head and our conditioning and all the things that we've done in the past. And so when it comes to spirituality, for me, it's always been my journey of letting it all out has always been like a journey of making sure we're safe and secure first, right? And allowing ourselves to flourish within our own lives, and the outpour, comes because we have that safe masculine container. We have those policies, we have those structures and routines, and we know what to expect. And then our feminine can flow and do the things that it needs to do. What do you want to speak a little bit specifically around, like, what your gifts are and what you do, like with your soul mapping and stuff with your clients?
Yeah, so I believe that everybody has gifts, that we all have gifts, and we all have the ability to be able to use our bodies as a tool, a spiritual tool. So when I talk about that, our bodies being a spiritual tool, that's our senses, our ability to see, to hear, to feel, to taste, to smell. So I have the ability to do all of those things, but to a point where, like, my sense of smell is like I can smell where people have been in previous lives. Hear to the point where I can hear from previous lives, just simply by somebody reaching out to me or connecting in some way, shape or form. But a part of my own spiritual practice is that I don't enter into a space unless I'm invited into the space. So I do, in my day-to-day life, walk down the road and get all sorts of messages and see all sorts of things that nobody else would see. It doesn't distress me, because a part of my own modality is to not enter into spaces and not take on anything that isn't for me or doesn't add value. In terms of soul messages that I do through photos, really a form of clarity and identification. So if it is that I'm working with anybody, we usually start with a reading or a soul mapping, because what it does is it gives a starting point. So soul mapping really is about where you have been and the possibilities of where it is that you're going, but providing a starting point around where you are at. So often in what we do, we're like, when I'm engaging with people, when I'm connecting with people, they'll say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing and I can't see and I just feel so stuck. And then when we start connecting and I start connecting with their guides and bringing the messages, they're like, I already knew that. You know what I mean? So my abilities to be able to soul map and give messages, also, connect people with their messages. So I see myself as a tool because I'm external to you. and I use my gifts to be able to connect with your guides,
Mm-hmm.
whether they be in spirit, in spirit animal form, or in whatever form they come. And I know my place, like I know my role in it, that it's not my opinions or perspectives that I pass through the messages. It is what's coming for you. And what I've found is that by knowing what my role is in every engagement that I have, it keeps me safe, but it also means that the messages that I'm able to provide are really on point, pretty in depth.
Mm.
So in terms of my other gifts that I do have the ability to be able to heal other people, but I do not, because I believe that it needs to come from yourself so that it's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I know about energy, how to move energy, how to support people to release trauma from their bodies. Again, I could probably do it, but if you do it yourself, it's going to be sustainable. So using my spiritual gifts, moving energy, connecting to different realms, I'm able to draw upon, if it is that there's things that people need, I can draw upon different energies to support in healing. And so much of what I've done has been without tools. So I've really practiced my spiritual gifts so that I actually don't need tools to be able to practice, but I like to use them. My human likes them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We do love them. It also can be, with us spiritually gifted people, it's one of the reasons why I kept mine under wraps for so long, to be honest, was that a lot of people just see it as like this big shiny object thing. And then, sometimes this is interesting. This is coming up actually. Have you ever felt like you weren't valued as a human because of your spiritual gifts? Have you ever had that sort of dynamic where it's like, oh, people just want to come for do you know what I mean? Do you sort of know what I mean by that?
And I want to be honest, I hang out, and I've spent a lot of time. Anybody that follows me knows that I had this amazing gift where I would be able to go and do my work and, be at my fullest capacity within my job. And then I would go home and I would feel so isolated and alone. Really, 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 really isolated and alone. And in that, I was teaching my human how to operate in two spaces. But it's been like that for me spiritually as well. Like, I see my spiritual space as being such a safe haven for me, a space of security. Like when I practice spirituality, when I practice in that space, I'm fucking on point. I'm fucking good at what I do. There is nothing in front of me that scares me when I'm in that space. I can navigate it. I can do whatever it is that I need to do in that space. I trust myself fully. I've got my back. In my human space, and I sort of like, is it because my spiritual gifts have been more valued than what my human does?
And more
And so, oh, you go.
I was going to say, it might just be a validating thing. Like maybe we've been validated more for our spiritual gifts than our human stuff in our life, and that's the conditioning that's, a safer bet for us, maybe,
Yeah. And what I've found too, like even, I'll share this when I'm coaching people, when they're, in building their modalities as well, it's just so amazing to be able to see what they do. And, when they ask me, like, how is it that we can construct this part? I'm here and I'm really wanting to focus on this part. One of the things is that in the spiritual space, in my soul space, I contract guides. That's how I don't use my own guides. I use your guides if I'm connecting with you, because that's about safety. But who better to use than your guides? Than the people that I'm connecting with guides. And I'm very make sure that I'm on point and I'm contracting what I need to do and making sure there's these like policies and procedures in place. But my humans had to have a lot of learning around business and how to navigate human things and,
Yeah. Company setups and
Yeah.
Instagram freaking PayPal accounts and all the different things, right? There's so many like physical human things that we need as like spiritual entrepreneurs, right, that we don't always have both. We don't, not sometimes we're way more right-sided, structure stuff or whatever, or human things, and sometimes we're way more, spiritual stuff or whatever, spiritually aligned. And yeah, when we can bring all those pieces together, and allow it all to flourish at once, and set up the framework that it needs, and then the soul guidance, everything our soul needs and everything, then that's when things really flourish. And this year, that's the journey you've been on, and it's just been like honestly remarkable to witness. Like you didn't even have a business when we started
I
working
didn't even
together.
have a business. I didn't even know I was going to do this.
Oh my gosh. And that was it March we started working together? I think it was like
Yeah,
March 2020. And
yeah,
it's just been like so incredible. And the amount of people that you have impacted, like it's huge. Absolutely huge.
yeah. I was counting up the other day. So from March when I started the Voyaging Soul, because we even remember we got to that name together
No.
while we were coaching, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Voyaging Soul is where we got to. I think we were 3 weeks into our coaching.
Yeah.
So from the time that the Voyaging Soul was created, I've now read, coached, mentored, or done some form of soul counseling for over 600 people.
Wow. Yes. Queen. And for anyone who's wondering, Patsy is a mini gen. So she's got it all going on.
Wow. That like, I think, for human design, what's been most transformational for me is in doing the one-on-one coaching with you. It was about everything that I needed in the moment you brought, whatever it was, and you brought intuitively. Like, I didn't even have the words to articulate this is what I needed, and you just brought whatever it was and put it on the table, and then I was able to, look at it, touch it, feel it, and then integrate into my life and into my work what it is that I needed. And human design was one of those things that I picked up and have integrated into my own, the way in which so I don't practice human design, but human design allowed for me to start using my body more efficiently, because I use my body as a tool, as a spiritual tool to guide what it is that I do and when I support other people in their journeys. But my experience in terms of using my tool is like next fucking level, like out the universe, because one of the things for my own human design was learning that my sacral, all these messages that it was giving me over the years, was actually on point.
Mm-hmm.
And these circles I would go in, these loops that I would go in, trying to make a decision about something, have now disappeared for me because of human design, because of using my body in a way, using my body till its fullest potential. The other thing that was probably the most transformational thing, and something that's become really important in what it is I'm doing, especially because one of the things that's really important for me as a Māori woman within this life is to work with other Māori and Indigenous people. But one of the things that was really important was permission, was giving myself permission. And I remember, quite often I would say to you, oh, I can do that. And you were like, well, can you do that, And I had never experienced what it felt like to give myself permission. As an Indigenous woman, as a person where my whakapapa has been colonised, I was always waiting for somebody to give me permission to do something. And I know that's just not for Indigenous people. The more that I've done my work and the more that I've connected, and that's a short period of time that I've been able to connect with over 600 different people. That's become so integral, that's like an integral discussion now. When I'm connecting with people around permission, giving yourself permission to be you, to experience, this life, to explore, it's such a powerful thing.
I agree. And at the end of the day, we are just having a human fucking experience. So, like, allow ourselves to expand, right? And the
Yeah.
self-validation piece, like, and I think that really does really closely link into us, especially for generators and many gens, right? For you to be able to listen, or for any type, but still to be able to listen to your, if you're a many gen or a generator, to listen to your sacral, it's yeses or nos, it's because if we don't have confidence in what our intuition is telling us, then we don't actually validate ourselves. So as soon as we like learn, this was like even for me having a splenic authority, when I learned how my intuition is very clearly speaking to me, that became, because I had that masculine structure, right? I was able to validate myself based on it fitting inside the masculine structure, so that then we can then go and act on the feminine expression of like leaping, of doing the things that in the past we hadn't actually been able to go and do, because we didn't have the courage to do it, because we'd looked externally everywhere all the time for validation and for permission and for
Yeah.
confidence and for like cheerleading and everything, when we can take that power back and do it for ourselves, that is the best gift and the best blessing that I could ever pass on as a coach to my clients, but also for us to ever achieve for ourselves, because it changes the whole shape of our future and our life and our fulfillment and our income and our business and the impact we're here to make, just by purely listening and validating ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been like, I know we have lots of transformations and awakenings, but if you asked me this time last year if I would be doing what I'm doing now, I would not even believe that this is what I would be doing. No way.
You're incredible, eh? Like 600 people. And hold on, just let me just tell everyone here, for just inform you for a quick second. Patsy has a full-time fucking job in the government as well.
Yeah. No, I
And
do.
wait, hold on. And hold on, wait. You have kids too, right? You're a mama and a
Yeah.
wife to teenage kids and young kids. The whole, like, honestly, like, you do it all. Like, you get
I
to.
remember I remember saying, I did my chart and I sent it to you, and you said, "Oh wow, you're on managing," and then you said, "Oh, this is what it looks like." And I remember saying to you, "I can do all the things," and you were like, "Yeah, you can do all the things." And I'm like, "I can do all the things."
Yep, you definitely can. You freaking can as a manager. Like, you're not a projector where you have to niche or like just focus on one thing, or be so worried you're not going to have energy for your family after doing a soul work in a full-time job. Like, you're literally just a shining example of a manager. Like, it's just so freaking beautiful. And for us to be able to navigate that together and put the pieces together and bring all the pieces together and pull off the parts that aren't working and all the things, like, because that's the biggest thing with managers, right? It's because you guys have so many things going on. You're so multi-passionate, you're mastering so many things simultaneously, is that your human can often just be like a puddle on the ground, being like, where the fuck do I even start? Like, what do I even do?
Yeah.
This is too much. Am I being too much? I'm too extra. I'm doing too many things. Everyone's not going to be comfortable with it, right? All the things. And so for many gens, it's about like de-staticking your human almost, and
Yeah.
like going underneath all the layers and figuring out like the really aligned path for you guys. So often it is, for many gens, really laying that masculine structure and figuring out what the best way is, because you're a very feminine energy, but we have to have the masculine structure,
Yeah.
within business, within our lives, within our human design, within, within everything, so that our feminine can flow, so we can stand our feminine. Because that's ultimately, I love to do this. I know you love to do that as well. We love to be our
Mm.
spiritual gifts in our area where we're helping people and just vibing, enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a ride.
It certainly has. So, do you want to share with us? Do you have any clarity about where you're heading with your business and your life now that everything has been flipped on its head in 2020 in the best possible way, in the most intense way? That's right. Hold on, wait. You started a business in a fucking pandemic. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
like, literally, I think it was like you launched it the week we went into lockdown, I think, hey, in New Zealand,
Yeah.
like April, right? A few weeks after we
Yeah.
started working together. So anyway, side note. Have you got clarity as to what your desires are moving forward and what it's going to continue to look like?
Yeah, so moving forward, it's slowly reducing what I do in my 9 to 5. So moving down to 4 days and opening more space to be able to connect and do my soul work. And I'm really being drawn and called to really start integrating all of, because I've always operated, even though I'm a manager and I can do all of the things, what's become more apparent in my work is the universe is asking for me to start integrating what it is that I do. So these years of working within the system with my mental health and addiction knowledge, my counselling knowledge, my social work knowledge, and really integrating that into my soul work as a soul practitioner, somebody that can see, hear, and feel, and really bringing those things together to support, well, to really empower people to return back to self, explore self. What is it that sits within self, and what are the superpowers that you have, and how is it that you share that with the world if you choose to, in a way in which that's safe, but that's abundant as well.
Mm.
So much of where it is that I'm going is being more accessible so that the people that are called are able to do what it is that they're being called to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I love that. So we're here to assist, right? You're here
Yeah.
to put a fire under people's asses, but also support and love them at the same time. And I love your energy, and hearing like a lot of my clients have ended up working with you, and a lot of your clients have ended up working with me.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like the best co-creative. Oh my God. Also, while we're there, can you please speak about why you don't worry about that, for instance, about the clients going from me to you or you to me or whatever? Like, what's your mindset behind that and stuff? Like, what's your take on that? Because a lot of coaches really struggle with this in the industry.
The thing is that we're colleagues. We're all colleagues in this. And I know so often, even in my journey as well, especially when you're working from a spiritual soul space, quite often you feel like you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've found is that if I'm out here and I'm saying to people, what can you do, what are your gifts, what's your superpower, how are you sharing that with the world? If I'm out there being like, what is your uniqueness, the thing is that we're all unique. And I want to be able to, like, it's in my spiritual practice, in my voyaging soul space, I put it out there. This is what I do. And if I do anything outside of, if it's anything outside of that you need, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to refer you. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to refer you to the other amazing people with their unique gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And
totally
so
agree
it
with that.
needs to become a normal part of our spiritual soul community.
Mm.
As spiritual soul colleagues, as people that are choosing to work within this space. I'm an expert in these things, but I'm not an expert in everything, and I don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to practice my expertise and my gifts to their full capacity from me.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. There's other people out there doing amazing things, and like, I'm all about referring. I'm all about referring. If you speak to me and we have a call, and there's these things that you're identifying, I'm going to give you the names of other people that I know that are as amazing as me, because they're the ones that you need to be able to support you in what it is that and where it is that you're at. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to my work, I stay in my lane in terms of what my expertise are, and I know my expertise. I know what I'm good at, and I also know that referring I don't see it as a loss of business. There's nothing more important to me than the people that we engage with collectively, healing and doing what it is that they need to do to show up and to be able to practice with their amazing uniqueness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And that's like the best thing. It's just that I've always loved the way you talk about this, because it's like it's so in your lane. You so have your blinkers on. You're so like, I don't care what she's doing. Like, it's amazing that she's doing her thing, but I don't fucking care. Like, she's amazing. I'm amazing. Just because someone else is amazing doesn't make me or you
Mm.
any less amazing. And that's the thing that we've bought into this narrative of, like, the freaking high school bully or whatever it
Yeah.
is, that when they're amazing, it means that we're not. But in reality, like, we all are fucking amazing. And when we own our own gifts, people come to us and people see us for our
Mm.
light and people want to work with us. And when it isn't 100% perfect and there's someone else better for the job, then there's someone else fucking better for the job, and that's it. And
Yeah.
it's how do you say that word? Reciprocity. You know how to
Yeah.
say that, right? Like whatever that word is.
But in what we do, like, let's be honest, yeah, spiritual work it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's wholesome, it's nourishing, but there's still risk in it. There is still risk in what we do. And a part of practicing, which I would call tohunga tanga, but a part of practicing with your amazingness and sharing that with the world is you also need to know that there's always going to be limitations in what you do.
Mm.
And I don't want people to take that on as a negative. Why not practice from your own spiritual gifts? And if it is that whoever's presenting in front of you, whoever's standing in front of you, if they're needing something else, that's okay. The abundance will still come. If we believe that in the universe everything is energy, and if we believe that nothing exists, and if we believe in, abundance, infinity abundance, it will always come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we need to be able to know what it is that we can do and how it is that we can practice. Be experts in our own right, in our own magic, in our own gifts, but also recognize that we're not here alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We all.
And even in my own journey, I've engaged with you, I've engaged with, different people. They have all contributed at different times in my journey when I've needed that. And the same with me. Quite a lot of people I get have worked with different people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
If we are born into this world wanting to connect, that is the one thing that we all want to do. We are born in this world wanting to connect. It makes sense that we collectively look after each other and we collectively heal, we collectively love. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's like pieces of a jigsaw, right? We don't have to be together with a whole, but we aren't a whole. We are our own whole. We're
Mm.
not, the whole thing. We're all collectively doing things and we all have different parts to play. And us viewing ourselves as a whole being, no matter what anyone else, whether they've got the colourful flower piece of the jigsaw or like the
Mm.
sea jigsaw piece, like whatever it is, you are whole and you are perfect exactly how you are, and you have a role to play. And someone else shining bright or you sharing someone else's bright shining light is not taking away from you whatsoever. And I would almost argue to the fact where people are actually drawn to me, people like you, a lot of people that I sort of work with, and in my circles, a lot of people are drawn to us because we don't have that comparison or that scarcity and lack vibe, because we actually do share the light and quote other people and do the things that like feel
Mm.
really in integrity with us. But that's one of the reasons why people do respect us and love us so much, is because we actually do those things.
Mm. Yeah, and it really is a part of our, as people that work as light workers, that work within the spiritual space, but however it is that you see yourself, we do have an obligation to care for people, to not cause harm,
Mm.
to love unconditionally, to support.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And that does happen by us doing that for ourselves and viewing ourselves in that place, and then we can outpour into others. That's always the backbone of
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah,
Feed into ourselves, and that overflow goes to everyone else, and our light does truly shine because we're in integrity with what we preach.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. Okay. I wondered if you have any final words or something that really wants to come through for people listening. Do you have anything right now?
The one other thing that I wanted to share So it was around giving myself permission. But the one other thing that's become really important, like apparent to me, is the self-advocacy, is the people, for myself, but even for the people that we work with, to support them too, to develop skills and knowledge that supports them to be able to choose what they feel is best for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that self-advocacy stuff is really important, and it's been something that in the journey for you and I, since we've been connected, that's been really important, is for me to be really clear about what it is that I'm needing in my, if it is that it's healing that I need, really specific around, you know, what is it that I need in business as an entrepreneur, you know. But that self-advocacy has been something that has really allowed for me in a short period of time, since March, I think April, I've launched Voyaging Souls,
Mm-hmm.
that has allowed for me to do what it is that I do.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it a lot. It's so relevant. And if we have to be able to see for ourselves what support we need. And that's one of the things that we've spoken about too, in particular with extraction stuff, what you need as an entrepreneur, about whether you need a VA or whether you need people doing graphics for you, and different like masculine structures and stuff. And we have to be able to look for that and decide that for ourselves and go and action it, so that we can continue to grow and scale and fly and support ourselves.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful. Okay, can you please share where people can connect with you more? They can come and hang out with you and work with you if they want to, and just be in your amazing energy.
So Instagram at The Voyaging Soul. My website's www.voyagingsouls.com. On Facebook, you can find me Patsy D Kainuku. And in Facebook, I also have a private page, Voyaging Souls Inc. The link for it is in Instagram, or you can DM me, or it's on my website. Yeah.
Yes, you're gorgeous.
It's real funny when I'm asked that, because all this stuff is all new to me. I'm like, wow, I've got a website. Wow.
Look at all the structures for this mini Jan. Yes, wait. I love it. And we'll put all the links down in the show notes as well, so you can go and find all those places and be amongst Patsy, because she's a truly amazing human being. She's just such a blessing and a huge gift to this planet. So please go and be in her energy. She's amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Patsy, and for everyone listening.
Beautiful.
I hope everyone has a really lovely rest of your day. Take care. All the love. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
If you have enjoyed this episode, I would adore if you would screenshot it, chuck it up on your stories with your favourite takeaway moment, and tag me at Hi Bye Babe on Instagram, so that more people can see this and get this content and get this message out there to really shape and change and impact other people's lives. Do you desire to be around more high vibe women who really get you, who encourage you, who support you no matter what? Yeah, well, guess what? I have a place that you belong. It is called High Vibe Babes Community. It is a free Facebook group, and I would love to have you in there. There are so many free trainings and epicness in this group, so please get your booty in there. It would mean the world if you would subscribe to this podcast, do the reviews, the rating, the stars, all of the things. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to chat with you on the next episode. I'm sending you all of the vibes and all of the love. Over and out from Angharad, the High Vibe Babe.